Hi everyone, this is Elizabeth Bracey. I'm coming to you live from our gallery. I wanted to do a gallery tour of our newest exhibit. So if you will just grab a nice cold glass of lemonade and join me on this tour. So this exhibit is called Journeys, and I'm going to start here with one of the award-winning pieces by Anne Marshall Block. And this is a piece painted of the Amalfi Coast. And we asked each of the artists for this exhibit to send us an artist statement to let us know what inspired them on their journey, or how their journeys and travels inspired or changed their work. So this is what Anne had to say about her piece. While visiting the Amalfi Coast in Italy, I was inspired to paint sun worshippers on the Amalfi city beach. The emerald turquoise Mediterranean waters and azure sky reflections in everything made for a warm, glorious day with my family. My color palette now almost always includes turquoise oil, which was very useful in creating this painting. Lovely. And this one actually was one of the award winners for this exhibit, sponsored by the Friends. It won for Friends' Choice. So congrats to Anne Marshall Block. As I take you along this wall, and I'm sorry for some of the reflections here, but you'll see we had quite a variety of pieces. These are watercolors. This top one is Angela Giraldi, and it's a sunny day in Charleston. I can just feel that nice, hot, sticky summer air in Charleston, just like it is outside right now. And this is another watercolor by Jody Rogers, Canal in Flanders. And Jody submitted several pieces that she painted from a biking vacation that she took. And she said she didn't have enough time in the day to paint from the photographs that she took while on that trip. So I think we can expect many more pieces from Jody. This is another one from Angela. This is Agrigento. It's another watercolor. Hello, Penny. Glad you're watching the tour. It's great that you're watching, because this is one of Penny's pieces right now that we're seeing. It's called En route d'Amboise, and it's acrylic and heavy gel medium, and it's a new style that Penny tried, this pointillism, and you can see as I zoom in that she's trying a new method. This is one of the things that I think is so wonderful to see with artists, their personal experimentation and growth. It's another one of her pieces, Flowers at Chenonceau. My French is terrible, so I apologize for that. Lovely pieces. That one has just a little bit of sparkle in there. I'm not sure you guys can see that. One of the artists that kind of inspired this idea for the Journeys exhibit was Leanne Fink, who painted this piece. And Leanne took a trip with her family to Jordan and talked about how she had to completely change her color palette to be able to capture the colors and the light that she saw on her trip. And it changed her as an artist. It changed her approach to painting, and absolutely changed her perspective. So this piece is "O Faithful of the Light Sun Sea." So that's Leanne. And another beautiful sunset from Penny. Somebody said today this looks like it could be the Potomac. It's actually another place in France, sunset on the Loire. So some beautiful colors there. This is a piece by Anne Stein called "Temperature Rising." I feel like you can almost hear those waves crashing. Anne does encaustic. So I'm going to try to get in a little bit closer so you can see some of the texture of her pieces. And we have a couple YouTube videos on our YouTube channel that feature Anne's process for encaustic painting. And this is encaustic on wood. So check those out. Anne Stein is the artist's name. So we're going to come around the corner here, and we've got a lovely piece here by Lizzie Javier. She submitted 3 pieces. This one is called "Alleyway," and it's a small piece. I love the colors of this deep greenish blue that's coming through, hopefully. She just really captured the architecture. And they're 2 very small pieces. These are just probably, I'm holding an iPhone to videotape this. These are probably just a little bit bigger than my phone. Miniatures by Deborah Kearse. This one is called "The High Road." And I just want to really zoom in so you can see some of the detail. It's just lovely. And miniatures are really, in some ways, I think, harder to paint than larger ones because you have to pack so much into a tiny little piece. The second one is called "Anchored." And these are oils and acrylics. Really beautiful. And hanging above our concessions is this wonderful quilt by Priscilla Godfrey. And I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit there. This is a piece that she did from Venice, which I think comes through. Really fun scene there. Again, here's a piece from Jody. This one is "Convent in Bruges." And this wall that I'm going through now is mostly pieces with some kind of religious theme to them. These are, they're actually 3 photographs, digital photographs that Eric Wickstrom did. I'll zoom in so you can see them in detail. He calls them "Monks and Tree Roots at Pre-Con Angkor Wat, Cambodia." So he did some really great work to digitally remaster them, and just some of the details are just really, really cool. This particular one is also an award-winning piece. Congratulations to Eric on that. And it actually sold at the reception. See the red dot there? Way to go, Eric. And somebody came in today and actually wants to buy another one of his pieces. So he's having great success already. This is by Terry Parent, another photographer, and this is Notre Dame in Montreal, Canada. Hopefully there's not too much of a glare there. Lovely, lovely cathedral. This is a watercolor by Alice Power, and this is of Notre Dame in Paris. Beautiful piece. And another digital photograph, very striking colors. Jane Mann did this one, and this is called Venice 3. And Jane talks about how when she got back from her trip, she just kept looking at her photographs, and they just looked like kind of ordinary things. And then she discovered this process of layering different photographs on top of each other, and she's able to come up with something very different that captures the memories and the views of what she was seeing. So I think it's cool to see. And of course, one of the most iconic things out there, the Eiffel Tower, another photograph by Terry Parent, Tears for Paris, it's called. So we're going to look at the opposite side of the gallery, and before I get close to the pieces, I just want you to see that we're projecting some of the quotes that the artists shared with us about their artistic process. So if you are able to come into the gallery at some point, we'd love for you to experience these pieces, obviously, in person, and you can read some of the quotes. We'll be posting some of that online, too. These are two pieces by Lizzie Javier. The first one is Steps, and the second one, Red Door. Lovely pieces. She really captures just those little scenes that you see so much when you travel that you just want to capture the feeling of a place. And Diane Dennis entered several pieces. This is one of hers, Dancing with the Spirits. This is an acrylic on canvas framed piece. The pieces on this wall are very architectural, lots of cityscapes. This is a piece by Brian Kirk, one of the Friends, Franklin Park Arts Center, on the Friends board. This is called Moonscape, and it's wood, paper, metal, rust, indigo. Very cool. Lots of interesting texture in his pieces as well. It's a little bit three-dimensional piece. This is another piece by Leanne Fink, The Citadel in Amman. You can see it's really interesting colors and see how her palette changed if you know her work. It's very different for her. Another photograph by Terry Parent, Portmagee in Ireland. She talks about how she loved the colors that were there in the little village, just each house its own little color and personality. Two pieces here. The top one is a print, relief print by Dave Mann. And he based this scene on a piece. Let me find his comments, actually. Sorry, it'll take me a minute. He kind of took a little bit of creativity and kind of juxtaposed this piece, making it like Leesburg, but basing it on, here to go. The Union Capitol, let's see. Though Washington, D.C. is only 40 miles away, it is in counterpoint to Loudoun County's long history. Washington was founded at the U.S. Capitol as a compromise between paid labor North and the slave labor South. Leesburg has a monument to a Southern soldier remembering Leesburg's vote for secession and its Southern fallen, but there's no monument for loyal Union boys killed and buried at its nearly forgotten U.S. National Cemetery. And just one point of interest, the statue that was in front of the courthouse that he's referencing was removed last night, so it's not there. But this is just his interpretation. It's called Lafayette Square. Really interesting print. And then another piece here by Diane Dennis called Adobe Sun. Again, it's another acrylic piece. This is, I'll try to get out of the reflection. This is a watercolor by Bud Klein. This is his first time exhibiting in any show and having his work for sale. Bud is one of our volunteers. You may have seen him as an usher at one of our productions. So if you see him, congratulate him on taking the leap to exhibit in a gallery. This is called The Bridge. And on this wall, we have a trio of wreaths done by another first-time exhibiting artist, Laura Walker. And these are, I'm going to zoom in because they're all very fascinating. It's a journey through the rebirth of spring, is what this one is called. Lots of really intricate, dried flowers and pieces from nature. I think there's a snake skin in there. You can see that. There it is. Yikes. And then this larger wreath is a journey through the 4 sacred seasons. So I'll kind of take you on that little journey around her piece. The thing that seems to really capture people is that nice turtle shell. And then this last one is a journey through the harvest of fall. So she's really captured, I think, a lot of the native plants, things that we're used to seeing, and a lot of other natural elements in there as well. Wonderful journey. This is another piece by Angela Giraldi, Ephesus Temple. And another beautiful miniature by Deborah Kearse called Over There, which I just think such personality in those faces, and such a tiny little piece. And when you do come, please take the time to check out this little sketchbook that Alice included. These are watercolor, she calls them sketches, but just small watercolor pieces that she did on her trip to Paris. And it has a little bit of narration next to each one. These were little paintings that she did each day to just kind of be like a memory book for herself. And it's just sweet and lovely. This piece is by Anne Stein, and it is another one of the award winners. This one was awarded the most thought-provoking journey, and it's called The Miracle of Fragility. And again, I just want to kind of zoom in so you can see some of the texture in her encaustic painting. It's really, really interesting and really striking from a distance as well. It draws you into the gallery. This piece is another one from Brian Kirk, and he received a Fulbright Fellowship, and he spent quite some time in Japan, and he says this is like a scrapbook of his time there. Lots and lots of elements, and just wonderful. You can tell just by the pieces in this, the wonderful adventure that it was for him. So that one is called Memories of the Japan Fulbright Fellowship Mixed Media by Brian Kirk. I'll take you past the windows. Great view. If you haven't been to Franklin Park in a while. Kids out there at camp. And brings us to another one of Leanne's. This is called Primal Shadows, Leanne Fink. And I don't know about you, but I just kind of want to step right into this painting and go on a walk with these people into those beautiful mountains. Lovely. This next piece is also by Diane Dennis. It's called Desert Dwellings. And we put this one on a little podium in the gallery because she has painted along the edges of the canvas. and we wanted you to be able to see everything about this, not just from the front, but also be able to really see what she did along the edges. So this one by Diane, just so you can see the whole thing from the front. And we're coming around to the side of the beam. Here are 3 pieces by Maria Bennett Hawk, and I believe this is her first time exhibiting here in the gallery. And she had been on she's another artist that had been on a trip to Japan. And so this one's called Koi Flirtation. And this one is The Conversation. These are smaller in size as well, and more conversation. Just lovely. Lovely colors. Nice to have them framed together. And our last corner, we have another piece by Anne Stein. This is a smaller encaustic called Blue Bay Beckons. And another watercolor by Jody Rogers. This is Swans of Bruges. I've never been to Bruges, but everyone who has says it's like a fairy tale place. And this one is a watercolor by Alice Power to finish out the exhibit. This is Water Lilies in Monet's Garden in France. And we're back at the beginning. So, I sincerely hope that you enjoyed this tour of our gallery. Thank you for watching. And if you'd like to learn more about the exhibit, we will have a page up on our website soon called Journeys. And the exhibit will be up until the middle of August. So we look forward to having you come in, social distance, wear your mask, and we'll see you soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.